there's one thing that we've all learned in the long dark, whether you've played the game for 2 hours or 2,000 hours, it's that every animal in the world has the ability to absolutely destroy your run. And on top of that, they all have a different way of doing it. In today's video, we're going to rank every dangerous animal in the long dark using 3 criteria: how much damage they deal, how hard they are to avoid, and of course, how scary they are. Let's get into it. First, we have wolves. For damage, I gave wolves a 3 out of 5. Wolf attacks are brutal, but they can be survived, and they have the benefit of being one of the only encounters in the game where you're actually able to fight back. You can use your fists or a weapon, you can even win the encounter, but wolf encounters come with their costs. These include condition loss, blood loss, infection risk, and even damaged clothing items. You'll usually get away with your life, but even that win comes with a cost. For how hard wolves are to avoid, I gave them a 3 out of 5. There are wolves everywhere. There's no question they are very easy to find. But the good thing is that they're more easy to manage than a lot of the other animals on this list. Wolves react to threats and flares in fear, and if you manage your scent, you're less likely to be surprised by them. They're common, but they're usually manageable, and you have several ways to reduce your chances of having to deal with them. For how scary they are, I gave wolves a 4 out of 5. The wolf struggle is desperate. You'll watch yourself flail with a weapon or with your fists as a wolf just absolutely rips into you. It's unsettling to watch, but being able to fight back definitely reduces some of the fear. You have some control. You don't have to just sit back and watch. It's one of the reasons why wolves sit at the bottom of this ranking. Overall, I gave wolves a 10 out of 15. Next, we have poison wolves, who take everything just slightly up to the next level. For damage, I gave poison wolves a 3 out of 5. The damage dealt by poison wolves is similar to that of regular wolves. Can be condition loss, blood loss, those usual stressors. But what makes poison wolves unique is the added chemical poisoning risk that they can deal. So, when you're already bleeding out and trying to navigate a blizzard, you can now also worry about another status effect to manage. For how hard poison wolves are to avoid, I gave them a 4 out of 5. Poison wolves have a wider detection range than normal wolves. They're also more aggressive, they behave more erratically, they move more quickly, and they are much more committed in getting to you than regular wolves. The good news is that they are confined to the zone of contamination. But the bad news, of course, is that they live in the zone of contamination, and if you're heading there, you will have to face them. For scariness, I gave poison wolves a 4 out of 5. What really makes poison wolves unsettling isn't the damage they can deal, it's actually how they behave. They're almost frantic in the way that they attack. Flares and torches don't make them hesitate, and they behave as if they're desperate. It's deeply unsettling to interact with them because they are so desperate and have so little regard for any deterrence that you have. Overall, I gave poison wolves an 11 out of 15. Moving up on our list, where everything just keeps getting worse, next we have moose. For damage, I gave moose 5 out of 5. So, up front, moose are not predators. They won't hunt you down, they aren't going to be stalking you as you scavenge, but if you get too close and don't back away immediately, they can charge you, and it's entirely one-sided. You can't defend yourself while the moose deals massive condition loss and a unique affliction of broken ribs. It's an affliction that no other animal can do to you, which is probably a good thing because, man, it can really mess you up. I gave moose a 3 out of 5 for how hard they are to avoid. Moose are rare in comparison to the other animals on this list, and again, they won't seek you out. If you give them space, you should be fine. The challenge with that, of course, is knowing where they are before you're too close. You have to listen for them, look for environmental signs that they've been around. They don't always make their presence super clearly known, so you do have to keep an eye out in that sense. For scariness, I gave moose a 4 out of 5. A moose charging at you is honestly more disturbing than scary. Watching those hooves come down on your stomach and your ribs, it's honestly really hard to watch. You can almost feel it. It makes you cringe every single time, no matter how many hours you've logged in this game. Overall, I gave moose a 12 out of 15. And now we'll dive into the predators that really make you suffer, starting with Cougars. For damage, I gave Cougars a 4 out of 5. Cougars have 2 different ways of attacking you, and they are equally unpleasant. The first is a glancing attack. This can cause condition loss. The second is a full-on struggle, an attack scene where you can't fight back that ends on you losing consciousness. You wake up injured with large amounts of condition damage and severe lacerations. These bleed and they can also get infected. After either type of attack, the Cougar briefly retreats and then generally comes back to do it all over again. I gave Cougars a 3 out of 5 for how hard they are to avoid. Cougars won't enter the game until a certain amount of time has passed. That's dependent on which difficulty you're playing in. And you get a warning when a Cougar is entering your map, so they definitely don't appear out of nowhere. On top of that, Cougars usually provide warning signs in their territory, like scratched trees and bloody carcasses. They give you a heads up that you're getting close to them. That being said, they have a large detection range and they can start stalking you from further away than you might expect. And unfortunately, once a Cougar is stalking you, it's not simple to lose it. For how scary they are, I gave Cougars a 5 out of 5. The stalking is what really makes the Cougars scary. They don't just attack you, they draw the process out. You will hear the Cougar and you'll know that it's out there. The anticipation leading to the attack is what really builds the fear. Overall, I gave Cougars a 12 out of 15. We've only got 2 more animals on this list, and I have to say, these 2 really fill me with dread, even more than any of the other ones that we've talked about. First, we have bears. For damage, I gave bears a 5 out of 5. Bear attacks are honestly in their own category when it comes to damage. Unlike wolves, there's no fighting back. The attack scene plays and you just have to sit through it. When it's over, you're looking at lots of condition loss, infection risk, blood loss, and usually damaged clothing. You see the bear slowly walking away, and if you don't start moving immediately, it'll turn back for a second round. For how hard they are to avoid, I gave bears a 3 out of 5. One of the benefits to dealing with bears is that they are more predictable than some of the other animals in the long dark. Bears have patrol routes that you can learn, and their size makes them easy to spot from a distance and avoid. If you keep your scent meter low, you give them a very wide berth and listen for their breathing and footsteps, you can avoid them. But when you don't, the consequences are brutal. For how scary they are, I gave bears a 5 out of 5. Bear struggles are probably the most brutal of any animal struggles in the game. The bear is right in your face, up close and personal, swatting you around, and you can't do a thing about it. You can't fight back, you can't run, you have to just watch. The total loss of control here hits really hard. It's not just scary, it's also helpless. Overall, I gave bears a 13 out of 15. And finally, the one encounter that gets a perfect score. And this is the one that I will go so far out of my way to avoid. Let's talk about Timberwolves. For damage, I gave Timberwolves a 5 out of 5. Every other animal we've talked about works alone, but not Timberwolves. They hunt and patrol in packs. They work together using swipe attacks to chip away at your condition before you've had time to recover. One Timberwolf is bad enough, but a pack of Timberwolves is a nightmare with no end in sight. For how hard they are to avoid, I gave Timberwolves a 5 out of 5. Timberwolves are relentless when they hunt you. They don't give up or get scared easily. You have to break the entire pack's morale all while they're swarming you. Flares help, but you need multiple deterrents to be able to break the whole pack. It can be done, but it's genuinely challenging. For how scary they are, I gave Timberwolves a 5 out of 5. Facing a pack is already intimidating, but what I think is the scariest part of dealing with Timberwolves is when I've escaped inside a building, shut the door, and I can still hear them outside, waiting for me to come back out. There's something about their relentlessness and refusal to give up that's just deeply unsettling. Every time this happens to me, my stomach just sinks. Timberwolves got a 15 out of 15, perfect score, and that's every dangerous animal in the long dark ranked. Timberwolves took the top spot. I doubt that that's a controversial call, but I do want to know your opinions about animal encounters in the comments. Which animal encounters fill you with the most dread? Please let me know. If you like more content like this, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.